For healthy calves, you gotta start now. Crew, it's the Ranch It Up Radio Show. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Earhart.
And I'm Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you goes out to our partners, RanchChannel.com, Transova Genetics, Axiota, Multiman, and Lactapro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Gelbvieh Association, Imogene Ingredients and Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources and Allied Feeding Partners, Livestock Market, Equine Market, and AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station. Cow Country News, you know, the cow stuff.
Jumping into the news, Australian exports of beef to the United States have soared in the last 12 months, hitting over 31,000 tons in May compared to the same month a year ago. That sum is 74% higher, according to global supply analyst Tim Jackson of Meat and Livestock Australia, a checkoff group for the country's red meat producers. Australian farmers have also gained beef market share in Japan and South Korea, largely at the expense of U.S. exporters, Jackson said. Australia's global beef exports last month were up 9% from April and 25% from May 2023, hitting almost 114,000 tons, the highest level in more than 4 years. Jackson commented that the U.S. declines in production are now having a noticeable impact on export flows. Next, cattle have long been a cornerstone of agriculture, providing us with milk, meat, and various other products that nourish and sustain our communities. Ensuring the cattle's health and optimal muscle development is vital when producing high-quality beef. However, various genetic conditions can disrupt muscle metabolism, affecting animals' well-being and the quality of the meat they produce. Researchers at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln have discovered a new defect in composite cattle, mainly Simmental, Red Angus, and Gelbvieh, that often caused physical collapse when they exercised, with some calves unable to recover. This is an autosomal recessive genetic defect, which means both parents of affected calves must carry one copy of the mutation. This one is a very interesting read, folks. Check out more in the show notes at ranchitupshow.com. And now the latest updates on avian influenza. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services asked the public to postpone visits to farms with dairy herds and poultry flocks amid the HPAI outbreak. Over the past few weeks, Michigan has reported 2 human cases of the H5 virus. The department asked schools, daycares, camps, and other programs to delay any planned field trips to farms. According to Chris Scott with MeatingPlace.com, confirmation of H5 virus infections in U.S. dairy cows is prompting animal health officials in Canada to consider their options to prevent the virus from affecting herds north of the U.S. border. Dr. Keith Lehman, Alberta's chief veterinarian, told CBC News that vigilant surveillance is critical to protecting the Canadian dairy herd from a virus that has been confirmed among dairy cows in 9 U.S. states so far. Canada imposed new import rules last month that require lactating cows from U.S. dairy farms test negative for H5 within 7 days of export to help the nation maintain its HPAI-free status among cattle. That's all I have for the news right now. This is Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
And we wanted to mention, back by popular demand, we have a whole new line of Ranch It Up merch, swag, T-shirts, you name it. ranchitup.us is the website.
That's right. And not only do we have the clothing attire, as Tigger just said, the T-shirts, the tank tops, long sleeve shirts, vests.
I think we got vests too, right?
Yes, vests that are perfect for ranch wear year-round.
Cool.
But on top of that, we're also featuring some of Jeff Tigger Earhart's very own hybrid Florida cow whips that you designed.
And I haven't shown a lot of pictures of those before. I mean, I've been a whip maker for a long time, but yeah, we've actually got a few on hand in inventory, believe it or not.
So there you go. Head to ranchitup.us, shop it. Check it out. See if you've got any questions. Tigger's more than happy to answer them regarding these whips. We've also got some various handmade lariat rope holders that are extremely handy. And, of course, those paracord handmade muggin strings that can tie down and hold down any critter on your outfit.
So just head to ranchitup.us, and at any time, just reach out and we'll answer questions for you that you may have. You can give us a shout at 707-RANCH20 or email us ranchitupshow@gmail.com. When we come back, we're talking healthy calves, and it starts now. The Ranch It Up Radio Show will be back. Breeding season is here, and maybe you haven't made all of your decisions yet. Maybe you're looking to AI some cows or some heifers. Turn to Allied Genetic Resources. Top quality semen from elite bulls, and get those calves that fetch higher prices and thrive in today's competitive market. With Allied Genetic Resources, you're investing in a stronger, more profitable future. Visit Allied Genetic Resources today and start maximizing your herd's potential. With over 50,000 head marketed annually, Allied Genetic Resources. The newest additions to ranchchannel.com. Check out ISA Beefmasters and their sale coming up October 5th. Plus, feeder and live cattle futures, corn, wheat, and bean futures, and more. It's your Farm and Ranch Network on demand. Head to ranchchannel.com. Gelbvieh and Balancer producers, seed stock and commercial, add genetic technology from the American Gelbvieh Association. They provide genetic tools to both seed stock and commercial producers. From being a part of the world's largest genetic evaluation and providing some of the most accurate EPDs in the industry to offering a wide variety of DNA tests, the AGA delivers its members and customers tools for success within the beef industry. Head to gelbvieh.org for more information from the American Gelbvieh Association.
Cattle market reports to various news stories. The Tri-State Livestock News covers it all. Check us out at tsln.com. Subscriptions or advertising, call Tracy Hawk at 406-951-3211. The Tri-State Livestock News, what ranchers read.
Cattle Battle.
The Ranch It Up Radio Show. It's the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad to be hanging out with y'all. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. You can call or you can text us, 707-RANCH20. That's 707-726-2420, 707-RANCH20. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Now, is it too early to start thinking about weaned calf health? Some producers are just getting in the hayfield. Absolutely not. In fact, earlier in the week, Superior Livestock had their first video sale. We will be recapping that one next week and giving you all results. Today, we start another multiple-part series on one of the biggest enemies of those calves, and that is BRD. Bovine respiratory disease. Now, when cattle get stressed from traveling or commingling or other factors, disease starts to manifest within that group. And one of the most common and most costly diseases that plagues us in the cattle business is BRD. Let's get a handle on BRD, bovine respiratory disease again, and the disease control and other diseases like BVD, for example, by bringing in Dr. Dave Ciclocha, a technical services veterinarian for Merck Animal Health. Dave, thanks for coming on the program. Before we get into the healthy calves part, well, I guess this is all about healthy calves, bring us up to speed on BRD, what it is, how it works.
I guess the short story is, it's pneumonia. We get lung consolidation and poor exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Toxins are released. We can get pretty deep there, but the main thing is that it consolidates the lung, and it takes a long time for that lung to heal. So if you get substantial consolidation of the lung, that calf is not going to perform as well. And, of course, as we all know, it could be a fatal disease as well.
So, Doc, do these BRD-infected calves, do they turn into PIs, persistently infected calves?
Well, not necessarily PIs. You've got a lot of people, the PI thing is kind of a separate situation. Persistently infected calves with BVD, a lot of times they will die of respiratory disease. But that's probably a little high to say 90% of them. But persistent infection of BVD is caused by the BVD virus, obviously. It occurs when that calf is in utero. Well, he's still a fetus before he's 120 days in gestation. And if it gets infected with the right strain of virus at that point in time, he doesn't recognize it as a foreign antigen. But, and so for the rest of his life, that calf will continue to shed that BVD virus at billions of particles a day. And because of that, he's affecting his herd mates, and they are constantly fighting off a BVD virus. But, there's BVD, and there's also IBR that can set up for bacterial infections. And so by virtue of that, we have a lot of sick cattle that we need to treat. We need to protect them better. And with BVD, IBR, syncytial virus, all those viruses can set us up for a bacterial infection with Pasteurella and Mannheimia. And so to better protect ourselves, we need to have that calf very resilient. And that starts, we can talk about vaccine programs, but there's a lot of things that occur before a vaccination program that we can be doing to help these calves. Make sure they get good colostrum at birth. Make sure that mama is in good shape to develop that good colostrum. And put the calves through a true preconditioning program before they arrive at the feed yard. And what I consider a true preconditioning program is proper vaccinations, and I would encourage you to encourage your listeners to consult with their veterinarian to develop a good vaccination program, but then wean that calf, and I mean truly wean that calf 60 days, get them bunk broke, get them tank broke, and those kinds of things. If as a former feed yard consulting veterinarian, I knew if that calf could come off a truck and understand what a feed bunk is and what a water tank is, half the battle was won.
I've heard that analogy many times, and I think it is absolutely perfect. When we go to, like here in Orlando, when we go to the hotel, we expect that at the hotel that the bed is going to be made, right? It's going to be clean. It's going to be welcoming. We expect the staff to be welcoming. We expect our pillows to be fluffed and towels to be clean. It's that same situation when the calf comes off the truck, right? We are the host. And if we have an inviting environment of pens being clean, if there needs to be bedding, depending upon what time of year that is or the climate that goes into it, that water is clean and fresh and flowing and there's fresh feed there, that calf is psychologically going to be a whole lot more at home and more comfortable in a situation like that versus they just got separated from mama. They have no idea what's going on. They were on a truck for 500 miles, and now they're thrown even in front of something that they have maybe never consumed a day in their diet.
Absolutely. And the hotel analogy is perfect because if you think about it that way, what do we expect when we go to a hotel? What should those calves expect when they come off the truck? And another point that I like to make to feed yards and producers in general is at a feed yard, do you have a sick pen or do you have a hospital pen? Because to me, if you take the same analogy, what do you expect when you go to the hospital? You expect a comfortable place to rest. You expect to have a physician or a nurse checking on you from time to time. You expect to have food and water that are fluids that are conducive to healing. And are we doing that in our hospital pens at feed yards, for example? If we're not, then we don't have a hospital. We just have a sick pen. So I would encourage anyone that has a feed yard or is treating sick cattle I strongly encourage them to develop a hospital, not a sick pen.
We're talking about creating environments of success, really, is what we're doing. Has there been any tests done that you can say with confidence that yes, we are losing X amount of pounds, and you can run that at any sale barn, and you can do the dollar amount however you want. But has there been any tests on that can say we have data that proves that if we create these environments of success, that these animals are less likely to be a PI like we talked about earlier?
As far as any good, hard, solid data, I can't say, at least I'm not aware of any. But it kind of lends itself to common sense. The better care we take of them, the better they're going to do. And if we do the simple animal husbandry things, and my kind of favorite saying is management first and then medicine. If we can do everything we can to manage those cattle, then we're going to have better success. And I truly believe that any time that we have a sick calf and we get him in the chute and we're about to give him an antibiotic, we should be asking ourselves, is there anything I could have done management-wise that could have prevented this situation right here? And if there is, then we need to work in that direction.
Dr. Dave Siklocha, Technical Services Veterinarian with Merck Animal Health, helping us get in that direction. Next week, we talk solutions. Merck Animal Health's All-Flex CleanVax is a system of nozzles and shields that helps make intranasal vaccinations for cattle faster and more hygienic. That is coming up next week on the Ranch It Up radio show. Now, Beck is giving me the sign to wrap up this segment. So, when we come back, we talk markets, cattle for sale across the country, and more. It's the Ranch It Up radio show, and we'll be back after this. For years now, I've been telling you all about Pharmatan from Imogene Ingredients. Well, it's time to make the change and add Pharmatan to your cow's diet, to your calves' diet. Get that boost in health and increase feed efficiency. It all starts with nutrition, so add Pharmatan. Before you head to the next rodeo, a concert, maybe a gathering on or off the ranch, we head to Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Tigger and Beck here for Medora Boot and Western Wear. Latest Western fashion in boots, jackets, and hats.
From durable ranch wear to keeping the horses in sturdy tack, visit medoraboot.com to order.
Or better yet, plan to visit Medora, North Dakota and shop Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Again, go to medoraboot.com. You can follow on Facebook and tell them Tigger and Beck sent you. Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us, Beck and I, as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today. Have y'all tried livestockmarket.com yet? We have updates each and every week. Brought to us by auctiontime.com. We're all familiar with that one. Try livestockmarket.com. And don't forget, for all your equine needs, head to equinemarket.com. Looking for the best way to raise healthy, productive beef? Try Westway Feed Products. Westway's liquid supplements boost forage utilization, efficiency, and sustainability, ensuring faster weight gain and better health. Visit westwayfeed.com or call 800-800-7517. Westway Feed Products, raising the bar in beef production. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up radio show. That time in the program, we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated. We recap the markets. Kirk, before we get into that, I would imagine you've probably been seeing a lot of, especially on this way up cow and bull market. This thing has been absolutely unbelievable. I'm sure you're hearing it, you're seeing it on your social media, you're watching some of these feeds, you're watching the auctions. I tell you what, I mean, if it has four legs and goes moo, it's a pretty darn decent deal right now, isn't it?
The canner market is incredible, is all I can say. I actually just sold some, got the check, looked at the check yesterday and got $1.38 for some way up cows. You know, they were fairly solid cows. They were probably 6 or 7, I would guess, in good shape. But still, $1.38 for a canner cow. I can easily say I've never seen that before.
You know, and that, and I don't mean to get off topic, but we do need to actually just make mention of it again, is how, you know, on the income side and the disposable income from those weigh-ups, from those cows and those bulls, that's where a lot of people, you know, they tend to not think about that. But, of course, those animals that we're culling from the herd, a person really, really needs to consider the management of how you're going forward with those, especially with the opportunities that we have right now. Like, just for example, let's say, you know, make sure you get those bulls tested, because if you've got a bull or two that comes up bad before you're turning out to grass, I know a lot of y'all are out there and got them on grass, but say that bull turns up bad, now is a great opportunity. Okay, send them down the road, replace them with some good genetics. So it's maybe a good opportunity just to plant that seed again, right?
Oh, absolutely. The opportunity to capture salvage value is as good as I've ever seen it. With that being said, you also have to weigh in the replacement cost, because the flip to this huge salvage value is really high replacement costs also. So a guy definitely has to balance that.
Exactly right. Exactly. There's always another side to this deal, Kirk. That's how it works. So, okay, numbers-wise, let's recap last week. What are we looking like?
All right, Terry, let's do it. As of Friday, June 7th, August feeder futures closed the week at 254.80. That's down $1.57.5. The CME feeder index was up 296 at 251.20. That left our basis at a negative 372.5 versus August futures. June live cattle closed the week at 182.05. That's up 45 cents on the week. Cash traded early in the south at 185, but by late Friday, Texas had posted a grid base of 187 to 188.50, which should be equivalent roughly to cash. The north traded at 190, with a sizable number of Kansas cattle being delivered across the state line into Nebraska. That all left the 5-area weighted average down 69 cents at 186.73. I only mentioned the posted grid base and the transfer of cattle to Nebraska to kind of point out that the southern cash price was actually considerably better than the 185 that was posted. All of that left our basis versus June futures at a positive 455. The basis is still quite wide in the live cattle. Our weekly slaughter was 614,000 head. That's 74,000 more than the prior week, but the prior week was a holiday-shortened week, and 3,000 less than the same week last year. Choice boxes closed up 355 at 316.75, so we're still seeing real good strength in the boxes, with spot packer margin estimated at $50 to the black, so good packer margin also. To wrap it up, December corn closed at 467.5. That's up 0.75 cents on the week. The corn fundamentals and charts look fairly weak presently.
Hey all, Mark Van Zee with LivestockMarket.com. Coming up this Wednesday, June 19th, we have an all-class cattle online auction. Bidding opens at just $100 a head on the bred stock, $1 a pound on the calves, no reserves. All lots will sell. Featured lots include 120 registered purebred Charolais heifers. There's 6,800 pounders, 6,700 pounders, and 4,500 pounders. Selling on 3 separate lots. They're all yearlings to 2-year-olds. They sell by the pound, but you can breed them or feed them. It's your choice from Cowboy Sales in Louisiana. 40 Angus, Red Angus, Char, and Baldy calves, 425 pounds. Steers and heifers mixed, 45 to 60 days weaned, up to date on vaccinations and growing well from Rocking RG Ranch in Weimar, Texas. 20 Angus, Red Angus cows, 3 to 5 years old. 1,100 pounds, second period bred to a Beefmaster bull from Rafter LF Cattle Company in El Dorado Springs, Missouri. 20 Angus cows, 4 to 7 years old, 1,175 pounds, 4 to 6 months bred to a Black Angus bull. Good bags and feeds from Williams Farms in Sparta, Tennessee. 7 Angus Charolais Hereford calves, 500 pounds, steers and heifers mixed, 45 to 60 days weaned on a mix of hay, silage, and corn. They're up to date on shots. These are good home-raised feeders from Nelson Ranch in Hamilton, Ohio. And an Angus bull calf, 518 pounds, born September of 23, certified Angus beef genetics from North Texas Cattle Company in Plano, Texas. Featured hay lots include 114 large square alfalfa brome mixed bales selling on 257 bale lots. It's 3x3x8, 850 pounds, certified, tested, fine stem, high quality hay grown at 7,000 foot of elevation from Double Seven Cattle Company in Parson, Wyoming. 37 large square grass bales, 3x3x8, 850 pounds, baled dry on 531, no rain, shed kept, loading and trucking available from EJA Equipment in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, and 400 small square alfalfa, red clover Timothy mixed bales, selling on 200 bale lots. This is first cutting 2024, polytwine, sprayed with preservative from JB Farms in Williamsburg, Iowa. Bidding is currently live, but all lots will sell the morning of Wednesday, June 19th at 10 a.m. Central Time. Got cattle to sell? Regular online cattle auctions first and third Wednesday of every month, with hay sales every Wednesday on LivestockMarket.com and AuctionTime.com.
A feed sales rep drives into your yard. What questions do you ask them? Hey, I'm Shay, and I'm the host of the Casual Cattle Conversations podcast. Kadra Kruger joined me for a conversation where we talked about the importance of mineral programs to optimize conception rates, as well as what ranchers need to know before they adjust their mineral program. Here's a little knowledge shared by Kadra.
Don't be afraid to ask those feed reps for research. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. If they're going to come out with a product that they're going to claim something on, don't be afraid to ask them to show that research to you, explain it, walk you through it. And I think that's the biggest thing is don't be afraid to ask questions about it. Don't be afraid to ask them what makes the mineral so different. Why is it working better?
Listen to the full story by searching for Casual Cattle Conversations on your favorite podcast player. Happy ranching, folks.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Before we say fare thee well, we want to give a big old tip of the hat to all of the cowboys and cowgirls that are involved in ranch rodeo.
And the kids, too, because a lot of these ranch rodeo teams have the wee ones on them.
That's what I love about going to a ranch rodeo, because it really becomes family inclusive. I'm telling you, everybody gets out in the arena at one point or another.
And in fact, tomorrow we're going to be announcing said ranch rodeo. So good luck, stay safe out there. And now that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, starting off with Dr. Dave Saklocha with Merck Animal Health, Shay Keister-Warner with Casual Cattle Conversations, Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, Mark Vanzi with LivestockMarket.com, and the boss lady, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you to our partners, ranchchannel.com. Be sure to check out the new listings for ISA Beefmasters and the markets coming soon. Transova Genetics, Axiota, Multimint and Lactopro, Stockman's Livestock Exchange, the American Galvy Association, Imogene Ingredients, Pharmatan, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, Wrangler, and this fine radio station.
And crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Our email is ranchitupshow@gmail.com, and you can call and you can text us 24/7 at 707-RANCH-20. That's 707-726-2420. It's 707-RANCH-20. Spread the good word and join us again next week where it's always Tigger Rebecca approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.